For decades, the public has viewed government funding programs with intense skepticism, a bureaucratic void where billions of taxpayer dollars are allocated. Yet on the ground, nothing seems to improve. The core problem stems from how traditional grants were structured. Agencies would disperse massive lump sums upfront, hoping the project would succeed, but severely lacking any concrete accountability mechanisms to guarantee the work actually got done. This creates a major friction point. The state desperately needs to inject capital into vulnerable priority sectors, like public services and local SMEs, to keep the economy moving. But they simply cannot afford to repeat the financial blunders of the past. Pouring cash into a failing project without a rigorous way to measure the return on investment is a broken economic strategy. It drains resources that could have been used to genuinely fix the underlying issues. To solve this, the government is rolling out a new initiative called investment schemes. Instead of acting like a passive charity, the state is adopting the aggressive mindset of a venture capital firm. The entire philosophy rests on strict capital allocation. Funds are exclusively channeled into priority sectors, and every single project is evaluated on one uncompromising metric: demonstrable, measurable value for money. This targeted capital is strictly earmarked for registered small to medium enterprises, established public institutions, and approved business consortiums. But this raises an obvious operational question. How does a slow-moving, massive government bureaucracy successfully manage the intense risk of executing high-stakes, nation-building investments? This strategy manages public funds as a professional investment portfolio, where every allocation is tied to concrete, verifiable returns. The first line of defense is the application process. Applicants must now navigate a complex, strictly gated digital portal that serves as the mandatory entry point for all proposals. Applicants must clear severe eligibility thresholds. To even be considered, a project must bring its own co-financing to the table and prove that its operational model can actually scale. The proposals themselves require excruciating detail. You have to submit line-item budgets, rigorous governance arrangements, and highly specific impact metrics. Once submitted, the proposal enters a rigorous due diligence phase. Evaluators score the plan and financially stress test the projections before any conditional awards are ever granted. This filtering mechanism is intentionally difficult. It aggressively weeds out weak, unsustainable ideas, ensuring only the projects that promise clear financial returns and tangible social benefits survive to see funding. Once approved, the system deploys its strictest control mechanism: performance-based disbursements. Instead of handing out the full amount at once, capital is distributed in sequential stages. These releases depend entirely on pre-agreed performance milestones. If a project misses a target, the funding pipeline instantly freezes. Behind the scenes, the entire operation is monitored by a centralized risk register. This acts as the operational brain of the scheme, continuously tracking financial, compliance, and operational risks across every active project in real time. If a red flag appears, the register triggers built-in fail-safes. Active mitigation plans are launched, contingency funds are locked down, and aggressive reviews are conducted to protect the overall program. By strictly tethering capital to real-world performance and proactively hunting down risk, the state eliminates the black hole of wasted spending and forces absolute accountability. All of this micro-level risk management builds up to a much larger macroeconomic payoff. This data visualization shows how administrators track the specific metrics used to evaluate success at a national level: actual job creation, aggregate productivity gains, and direct fiscal returns. Administrators constantly feed regional indicators and cost-benefit analyses back into the system. This allows them to make rapid policy adjustments and aggressively scale up the projects that are actually working. This continuous cycle of monitoring and evaluation creates a self-improving economic multiplier. Successful data-backed investments actively generate the capital and momentum needed to fuel further national progress. For small business owners and public contractors, the landscape of government funding looks completely different today. You can no longer approach the state as a passive recipient waiting for a grant. You have to operate like a lean startup, pitching a highly skeptical venture capitalist. The capital is absolutely out there and ready to be deployed. But it is strictly reserved for those who maintain robust internal governance and can deliver hard, measurable results. This outcome-driven framework forces a higher standard of accountability, aiming to transform public spending into a series of calculated, high-impact investments in the nation's growth.